Okay, welcome back. In this video we're going to look at how to do sorting in Google Sheets. And sorting is simply another word for ordering. And we order alphabetically from A to Z, or reverse order from Z to A. It impacts numbers or dates or text slightly differently. So when we think about alphabetizing, we think about text, A to Z, but numbers would be 0 to 9. And dates, of course, would be in either ascending or descending order. Okay, note also that I added this extra column here. It says best year, and I just incremented it with numbers from 1 to 41 for the number of years that I have. And this information is terribly inaccurate. If I look here, it says the best year, number 1, was 2018, but just a quick look down here said, well, they had more wins in 2016, so this is incorrect. But I'm going to look at I'm going to use this to show you a particular feature of sorting later. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to say let's find out which year actually was the best. So let's sort them in order from most wins to fewest wins. Now the data I selected goes back to 1978, which means that there's an equal number of games in every year. That was the year I went to 16 games, so I don't have to worry about adjusting for shorter seasons. So this should be a pretty accurate measure. Now in order to sort, it's pretty simple. I just click anywhere in the column I want to sort by, and I can come up to data, and you can see it's saying sort by column B, and it's saying alphabetically from A to Z. So if I were to click this, you'd see that it takes the smallest number of wins was 3, puts it on top, and then they are in order by number of wins in a season. If I get to the bottom, I'll see that what I don't really care for is it took the label, my headers up at top, and it put them at the bottom. Now this makes sense. I told it to alphabetize, and this W comes after 14 in alphabetical order. Letters always come after numbers. So let's see if we can fix that up a little bit. I'm going to deselect, or I'm going to undo to get back to the way we were. And this time I'm going to select my data. Okay, so now all the data is selected, and when I do that, you'll see that I get this sort range. This becomes active with a selection. When I say sort range, I have additional options. I can say, this is column A here, I can say my data has a header row. So now it looks across there and it takes all those labels and lets me designate those. So I am going to say I want to sort by wins, and if I say sort, I get a similar result starting with the lowest number of wins, but leaving this header row intact. Now while this is still selected, let's do something a little better. This is not what I wanted. What I wanted, sort range, was to have these sorted in reverse alphabetical order. Gotta reset those. So data has header row, I want it by wins, but I want the greatest number of wins first down to the least. Okay, now this is getting more useful for me. I can see that 1986 there were 14 wins which were the most. In 1990 there were 13, and now there's a series of lesser wins, lesser wins, lesser wins all the way down. One thing you might notice here is that when I get down to row 10, rows 10 through 15, they're all 10 wins. However, they're not equal in losses because in 1997 there was a tie. So this is crudely sorted, but it's not really sorted completely. This should not appear in the middle of this set of 10 wins. So let's take a look again at how we could address that. So I'm going to select my data. I'm going to sort the range. Has a header row. I want to sort by wins in reverse order, but now I want to add a second column. Now I want to sort by losses, and I also get to control whether I want those in alphabetical or reverse alphabetical order. Well, what's a better season? A season with a tie, 6 losses, or 5 losses and a tie? Well, 5 losses and a tie is better. So what I really want to do is sort the first column, wins, from largest to smallest, but losses from smallest to largest. And if I do that, when I get back down here to my block of 10s, you can see that that 1997 season with only 5 losses leads the group of 10s as a better season. Okay, so that's basically sorting. You can do it by 2, 3, 4 columns as necessary. If I have student data, I might sort it by grade level, then homeroom teacher, then student last name, then student first name, and get them in a nice order. Now, let me show you one other example. The reason my data has been staying accurate, in other words, the year sticks with the number of wins, losses, points for, points against, the reason these stay accurate is because I've selected everything. Now, these are now in the correct order, but you can see that the best year is way out of order. And that's because it was incorrect when I started. But if I want to fix this, instead of just, I could type a 1 and 2, 3, 4, etc., populate that down. But another way to do this would simply be to select this data. I'm not even going to get the header. And I am going to say sort range. Now, it doesn't have a header row this time because I didn't select it. I could have selected it, that would have been fine. It's only going to sort what is selected, so it is going to not keep those rows intact anymore. And that's what I want in this case. I want the 1 at top, so that's going to be A to Z, and I think it's 41 at the bottom. So now I've fixed that problem. You can do sorts within data by the range only, but you've got to be very, very careful to keep that data intact. In this case, it made sense. In most cases, it's not going to make sense. The data in the row is going to be the data that you want to keep in that row and keep aligned that way.